Good, good. How's George doing?
I don't know, George. How you doing?
Oh, here we go.
It's
Look
okay.
who it is. We're
Oh
recording, brother.
man, yeah, it's good. I'll behave.
I'll behave.
Not
What's up, man?
much, not much. You guys excited for the stock exchange?
Yeah, it should be a good time, man.
Well, it's probably less stressful with Harry not there. Not
Yeah,
worrying if.
Harry's got a lifetime ban now. Sorry. This one should be a lot more fun too because you remember one of those the floor traders with like the iPads and stuff?
Yep.
Cobra set me up to interview one of the Citadel guys there.
Oh, that's sick.
So
That's
if anyone
awesome.
has any questions on that, I don't know what I'm gonna ask him, but should be pretty good.
That'll be cool.
What else?
How you been trading, James?
Good. I'm pretty much done for today. I thought it was gonna be a no trade day, and then I'll kind of explain my trade in a bit. But got a nice trade on NCRA. But overall, slower market. I think the summer slowness has kind of started a little bit, which is normal
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, bro, it's just mostly like a nail and bail type of market right now. Um,
Yep,
just taking the money. If you remember yesterday's CLRO, we said to kind of avoid that, and it turned out to be the best decision ever. Oftentimes, what ends up happening is a lot of these stocks that move, usually it's one stock that takes all the attention, and if there's nothing else taking attention, it finds a way to zombie itself back. So that's exactly what happened on this CLRO yesterday.
that was a great call. Great
Yeah.
call to avoid.
Yeah, so we got about 5 minutes here, waiting for everyone to get in here, and then we're gonna get started. So tell me about Bermuda, James. You're gonna go back there or what?
Dude, I loved it. I thought it was like so fun. It was an hour and a half flight. It was
Wow.
so easy. It was a great time, man. It's like, if you like the Caribbean or any of those islands, then it's very similar.
Right.
Obviously they have a winter, so it's like you don't go there in the wintertime, but like, yeah, man. I mean, I left there, I was looking at condos in Bermuda. I'm like, this is great.
What does a condo there
I love it.
cost?
Uh, the cheapest condo you could find there is probably like 1 million.
Bro,
You can find
everything's
you
a
can
million
find some
dollars these
other
days,
options.
bro. $1 million is everything these days.
Just about to say,
It's insane, dude. It's insane.
in Boston where I live, if you find a house for 1 million, torn down. It's crazy.
That's insane, bro. I don't know, man. It's like the craziest thing. I was actually talking to my dad about this yesterday, and we were talking about how much money is being bet on like the World Cup. Like every game, like if you go on like Kalshi and Poly Market, like it tells you like how much is being bet. Like every soccer
Crazy.
game is being like $100 million just on Kalshi is being bet per game. And bro, like I'm thinking in my head, and like I was talking to my dad about it. The problem is that like no one has money right now, and they think that the only way to make money is to gamble because that's the fastest way to make money.
Yep.
And what ends up happening is you make all of the gambling companies rich, and then you get poor. You know?
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I mean, imagine you had invested that money into the market for the past, 10 years. What that would have turned into.
Have you ever used a compound interest calculator?
Did I send it to my friends all the time because they're all starting to have kids. So I send it to them and I'm like, you need to start doing this early. And I
So,
show them, but nobody believes it, dude. Nobody believes it when you see it.
so dude, it's actually a really good example. So let's say, so compound interest calculator. So let's say your initial investment. So let's say, I don't know, you got like 15K to invest right now. So 15,000. Let's say every month you contribute what? I don't know, like let's say the average person in America makes what? Like 60K a year, maybe.
Yep.
So let's say $2,000 a month, maybe, if you could contribute. So if you're able to contribute $2,000 a month, let's say you're my age, which is 31, and you want to retire a little bit earlier than 65, so 60. So let's make the math easy, 30 years. So if you have $15,000 in your account now, if you contribute just $2,000 a month and you go for 30 years, the market usually returns about 10% a year. But just for argument purposes, let's say 8%. So we're underestimating. That means that by the time you're 60, you'll have $3 million.
Yep.
So if you invest $15,000, you add $2,000 a month, and the market underperforms, by the time retirement comes, you'll have $3 million. Now let me tell you a different story. Just change the math a little bit. Instead of doing 15, let's keep 15,000. Let's do 4,000 monthly contribution, and let's change the 8 to 10%. That gives us $8.1 million. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand how much money could add up over time. And the biggest variable in this equation is the time. So the more time that you have, so crazy number, but people making 60K can't invest 2,000 a month. Okay, let's invest 1,000 a month. You invest $1,000 a month at 60K, you're making 2.2 million. If you're making 60K in retirement, you have 2.2 million, you're rich. You know? So the craziest number is when you do this for people that actually have money, right? When you actually have money, this number changes dramatically because, well, we're old in 30 years. I mean, dude, you can't have it all, right? I mean, the reality is that, you know, you should have been doing this years ago, right? You should have been doing this stuff years ago. So, yeah, I mean, look, minus inflation, inflation's at 3% a year. So if you're making 10%, change the number to 7%. Like again, at the end of the day, guys, the point is that you're making millions of dollars. You're literally making millions of dollars. You know, whether you adjust for inflation 2%, 3%, whether you do 2,000, 1,000, the real money comes when you have like actual money. So if you're able to save up a nest egg of 25K, if you're able to put $5,000 a month and you're able to keep that 7%, still the numbers are huge, huge. So you have to remember, guys, that this compound interest calculator was something that I learned, very early on in my trading career, is the power of how much this stuff adds up. So instead of, again, I'm using George as an example because George is here. George, how much you lose on that parlay? How much have you lost sports betting this month on World Cup? Don't lie to us. Just tell us.
Couple $100.
Call $500.
Huh.
If George took that $500 that he's sports gambled on the World Cup and instead just put that 500 towards his monthly contribution, I mean, that's where it all adds up. So whether you're 30, whether you're 40, whether you're 50, the only difference is if you have less time on your hand, contribute more, right? Because I assume that if you're in your 50s or your 40s, you're probably making a little bit more than the 50, 60K, you know? So anyway, the point is, guys, that money adds up over time. And the sooner that you can put your money to work, the faster it will add up. So use the compound interest calculator, start playing with the numbers yourself. George invested his money during COVID. So about 6 years ago, George invested his money into the market. And with that money, he bought himself a house. Think about that, dude.
Not only that, dude, that was like the best decision I ever made in my life. Investing during COVID and listening to you, Alex, because dude, I saw my money grow like exponentially. It went more than double.
It's insane.
Yeah,
So think about it. The reality is,
that's
you
only
know,
like 5 years.
the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time to start is now, you know? So everyone always talks about the tariffs that happened last year. If you bought during the tariffs last year, you would have doubled your money. Everyone talks about the Iran war that happened last April. If you bought during the Iran war, you would have had a 50% return. And now Trump ended the ceasefire again. So I don't know about you guys, but it seems like the right opportunity to buy. So the reality is, guys, that money grows and compounds over time. And the more time you have, it's the biggest advantage that you could have. So if you are in your 20s and 30s, bro, if you do this right, you will be a millionaire. If you are in your 40s and 50s, you probably already have an established career and it's time to contribute more money into your savings. So with that being said, let's get started with live trading here today. One of the main topics I wanted to talk about today is risk management. So we've had a lot of new members joining MIC. And I think a lot of people, I want to just harp on the fact of risk management to start. So the reality is that most people could make money in the market, but making money in the market isn't the hard part. Keeping the money in your pocket is the hard part, and that is risk management. So I think that every single member in MIC, every single trader, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on wherever you're watching it on, you have to have a max loss set at the broker level. Because here's the reality. When you have a loss, let's just say the math, to make the math easy, is $500. Once you're at your $500 loss, most traders, they become a deer in headlights. You freeze, you panic, you don't know what to do. Even me, after 12 years of trading, I still struggle with stopping out if I don't have a hard stop in place. So how could you have someone like me that's been doing it for 12 years that still struggles with doing it when you've been trading for 12 days and you think you could do it on your own? Let the system help you. So every single trader should be setting a max loss auto liquidation at the broker level. That means that when you get to your stop loss level, that the broker liquidates you automatically. No longer are you a deer in headlights. That's like saying, uh, right before I'm going to get into a car crash, I want to manually do the airbag myself. If you did that, you would die. So wouldn't you rather have the car do the airbag for you? You know, when you start thinking about it logically like that, you're like, damn, dude, like that's kind of crazy. Like, why wouldn't I do that? So every trader, no matter what, if you're listening to this right now, you have to contact your broker and set a max loss auto liquidation. How do I know how much I should set my max loss auto liquidation to? It should be no more than 2 days worth of work, right? So if you're making $100 a day, you should set your max loss auto liquidation to $200. Why? Because on your absolute worst possible day, you will only lose 2 days worth of work. I've seen so many people that make $100 a day that set their max loss to $5,000. It takes them 3 months to make back the money. It makes no sense. So every single person right now, contact your broker. How you know how much money you're making per day, right? Even George has an auto liquidation. George, if you did not have your auto liquidation, what would have happened?
I would probably have no account right now, to be honest, because I've had, listen, the bad days are gonna come. It's not every day is sunshine and rainbows. It's a trading market. It's a cold world out there, and there's a lot of traps, a lot of like different things going on in the market. So even being 3.5 years in and thinking I know everything, I really don't. Because even this year I had one day where if I didn't get all liquidated, I would have been a crazy Arab and just said, you know what, I'm gonna keep going, and I would have lost my account. So I'm actually really happy about that hard stop.
So that's what it is, guys. The point is, it's like your seat bag and your airbag. You don't want that shit to go off, but if it goes off, you're very thankful that it did. You know what I'm saying? So the reality is this, guys. Please, if you take nothing, if you leave and you quit and you say you're dumb ass, the only thing that I ask you to do is set your max loss auto liquidation with your broker right now, right? And if your broker does not allow you to do it, chances are you're with the wrong broker, right? You're with the wrong
I'll
broker.
answer some questions here. So the auto liquidation does not work for pre and post.
Auto liquidation does not work for pre and post market, but probably shouldn't be trading pre and post market anyway, right? I'm not trading pre and post market, you know?
Listen, there's a lot of James and Steve and a lot of the guys do. So you could still do it, just smaller size.
I think if you want to trade pre-market, it's like graduating, right? So right now, if we all say like just to make it easy, we're all in elementary school, right? You are not allowed to trade pre-market until you graduate college. So you have elementary school, which is making consistent money. Then you graduate to high school, which is making $100 a day. Then you go to college, where maybe you're making $1,000 a day. After you can make $1,000 a day, trade pre-market, trade crypto, trade oil. I don't give a fuck what you trade. Trade whatever the hell you want. Trade women, but no, don't do that. But aside from that, do whatever you want. But you have to graduate to that level. And most people are still in nursery school and trying to trade at college level, you know? So that's what you have to keep in mind, man. That's what you
Real
have to,
quick.
yeah, talk to me, George.
Mr. Simple up here actually said he actually had a good question. Do we just buy the SP 500? So I wanted to just chime in on that
Yeah,
because
go for it.
during COVID, I mean, Alex told me, listen, buy the bigger companies, but then buy what you think is gonna maybe improve or something that you like. So I made the big mistake of buying PayPal at like $150, and now it's at like 60.
No,
So
George was buying the Amazon of Brazil.
yeah,
George is
yeah.
buying
Fubo.
George is buying companies that I've never even heard of, bro. But
I
hey,
heard about Fubo at the time. That was a couple years ago, and
yeah,
Alex was like, "Dude, what the hell are you talking about, bro? Like, what
let's
are you?"
let's let's
So I ended up not. Yeah, Fubo is probably at like I don't even know where that is.
this is George bought it during COVID. So George bought it when it was at $700 a share, and now it's at nine.
No. I was at 40 at the time.
It probably split.
And then yeah, they must have split or done something, and yeah, that was
Fubo
40
could have
plus. But
split it.
anyway, so I look, I made some great calls like Meta at 100 and a couple things like that, which
And
is awesome.
we have a YouTube video on that
Yeah,
actually.
we
We
have to
have a
pop that on the
live
screen.
trade.
I love
Pop
that.
that on the
That's probably
screen.
one of my favorite videos actually. So if you haven't watched that one, you should. But then I made some shit calls like PayPal. Like dude, PayPal I got a bunch of shares at like $130 average. It's just and the thing is that like I think he was tanking. So and still my account is more than double. So even with bad calls here and there, you could still double your account with just the compound interest like we're talking about.
And the thing is, like, thankfully, George, those were like kind of like tax losses as well. So George was making so
Right.
much money that he had to offset his money by taking losses as well, which is great. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, guys. I want you guys to remember is like the concept that I want you guys to learn is trading is a way to make you rich. And then once you're rich, your job is to invest that money to become wealthy, right? So now trading is a source of income for me to invest in all different types of assets, whether it be venture capital, real estate, crypto, whatever you want to invest in. But trading is the way to make active income. And then you turn that active income into passive income by investing it into a bunch of other things. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thoughts there. And yeah, I mean, with that being said, let's get started by building the watch list. So, the way that we build the watch list, we always go to the previous day's watch list first and we build from there. So, let me go to the previous day's watch list. Obviously, I'm trading on a laptop again. I hate trading on a laptop. Laptop lifestyle is bullshit. So, I'm going to be creating the watch list on a separate screen and then sharing it. So, let's start with yesterday's plays CLRO. So, CLRO, yesterday I avoided this stock. I said that it's high volume, it's holding strong. It did a little bit of a trap towards the market open here, dipped down, and then reclaimed and just kind of went to the moon. Today, it's kind of considered a low hanging fruit, meaning not really much eyeballs on it. So you can see that there's support at $12 here. $12. So $12 support here, $12 support here, and it broke support. Ah, look at that. So the reality is that now it's kind of under support. So I would love a bounce. I would love a bounce towards 13, 14, and maybe even 15 to scale in short. So CLRO, day two, low hanging fruit. Looking for a bounce toward 13, 14, and 15 to scale in short. 10% size each entry until a confirmation signal to add. LHSW LHSW, kind of dud right now. Not really much movement, so nothing really there. Silo, no real volume, so nothing really there. SkyQ, so SkyQ, uh, Trump came out last night and said that the ceasefire with Iran is over. He said he's going to bomb the hell out of them. He said you can't trust them, this, that, the other thing. So all of these oil companies are going crazy again. So SkyQ is an oil and gas play. So because it's in a sector that's moving, I am most likely not going to touch it. The last 15 times that Trump said anything with Iran, the next day he reversed course. So I'm expecting that in the next couple days he's going to say he loves Iran, they're his people, whatever BS it is, right? But in the meantime, Q is in a sector that's moving, which is oil and gas, so mostly ignoring. Sky Q, sector play with the ceasefire news, most likely ignoring short. So that was what was yesterday. Now let's go to what's moving today. TDTH. So TDTH, another low hanging fruit play, maybe like 250, 275 and 3. TDTH 250. Oops. 250. 275 and 3 short. CLRO we went over. NCRA, it's $2 stock. I mean, maybe 250 might be okay. 250, 280 and 3. NCRA 250, 280 and 3 to short. IOTR, maybe a pop towards VWAP to short. IOTR, pop toward VWAP to short. And then VEE. VE kind of dead duck. So mostly main watch here is CLRO. And then SkyQ is going to be in a void, and all the other stocks if they're in play. So let me just kind of share this out so everyone has the watch list. And then we're going to continue with the next topic of the day. So give me a second. So posting this out here. As you guys know, we stream live on YouTube every single day from 9 a.m. to 9:29 a.m. You guys get the morning lesson. You guys get building the watch list. And at 9:30 a.m., we cut off the live stream for MIC members only. We have some promos going on right now. So if you want to join, Stephen RH1 at myinvestingclub.com to email. But yeah, so one more thing I want to kind of mention is our partnership with Cobra Trading. So as you guys know, Cobra Trading is the same broker that I use. It's the same broker that Steve uses. Same broker that all of us use in MIC. And we have a really big promo going on right now. So the promo is if you open up a Cobra Trading account between now and November 1st, you will get 30 days of free commissions and you will get $500 in locate fee credits, which is awesome. And if you open up an account with Big Trades, which is Cobra Trading's sister company with a smaller account minimum of $2,500, you will get $200 in locate fee credits. Additionally, we will be selecting actually 5 people that open up a Cobra Trading account or are existing clients to come trade live with me in person in a secret location, probably sometime after November. So really great promos, really great opportunities. These are the same brokers that I use every single day. And yeah, so James, I'm going to kind of throw you on now, see kind of what's on your mind, what you're thinking, how you traded. And, in the next 9 minutes here, we're going to get started live trading. You there, James? You guys hear James?
What is this guy?
Oh, I have to make him talk again.
There we go.
There you go.
There we
You're
go.
back.
So I posted my trade and my P&L of the day. As you can see, it was kind of a smaller day. My focus, I mentioned a few weeks ago when PDT dropped that my focus was really going to be on these broken stocks, day 2 especially. Now, NCRA was a day 1 stock, but it was so broken from pre-market that in my mind, it was basically a low-hanging fruit at this point. So I sat around all morning. I had no trades up until then. And we just got a new headline on it, pushed up, it's kind of scaled into the bounce and just added to my winner. This is the kind of trade, honestly, I would have loved to use a lot more size, but the locates were pretty expensive and I kind of spooked myself out of getting any more shares. So, again, relatively smaller. I think that, going forward, the mentality still stands that these low-hanging fruits and these really broken names should be the focus. I think these day 1 stocks, like right now, it's so tricky, especially given that it's been a little slower. We're kind of just waiting for that next big runner, like a CLRO that kind of comes out of nowhere. I took Alex's advice a little while ago and I checked out my stats. I really am honing in on where I make the most amount of money and really starting to limit where I don't. And I even went a step further and recognized, during slow periods versus during hot periods, my times change a little bit. So for me right now, I am pulling my foot off the gas at the open while it's slower, because this is where, for me personally, I get into trouble. If it's slow and I get to the open, I start trying to force myself into making money. Whereas when the market's hot and I'm doing really, really well pre-market, I actually tend to go into the open and do pretty well and even have a little bit more confidence. So given the overall market sentiment right now, I'm slowing it down. I'm taking the small wins every day. I had a really great conversation with a member yesterday about this, how, you know, it sparked off of what Alex had mentioned, like why we get into trading, right? And he said it during that interview where he was debating 15 traders. He got into trading for freedom. It's to make money and to be able to enjoy life. And I found myself while I was on a mega hot streak, really only focusing on the money and being frustrated on the days where I wasn't making as much. I got to a point where I felt like making $1,000 was like making pennies, which is a horrible mentality to have. Because as we all know, the math is $1,000 a day is 250K a year. And even if that's the best it gets, I mean, again, most jobs you're working aren't paying you 250. So I took the time off. I was off trading for about a week, between Bermuda and the Cape, and I really just focused on my mindset. And that's kind of a huge focus going forward. I had a nice day, nice morning so far. I'm not looking to push it. I'm here to make money, take money out of the market, and go enjoy my life. And I think that's going to be a big focus of mine, as I kind of grow. And, I've always posted for you guys about my trading journey, my equity curve, and how I was dealing with this kind of drawdown and all of that stuff. And it really took just flipping my brain around to really recognize, like, dude, you're still doing great. You're still making great money, but you need to now adapt and mature to understand how to trade during a slower cycle versus trading in a hot cycle. So that's kind of it for me. I love the low hanging fruit watch list. I think those are the plays that, again, are going to yield the biggest returns right now in this market. And sticking to the MIC process of walking away at 10:30 is the ultimate Bible that you have to pay attention to. So
That changed my
that's
life,
kind
bro. The zombie rules
it
changed
did.
my life. Hey,
Yeah,
James.
it did it for me too.
James is your favorite person, George.
Uh,
Listen, we have like 2 minutes. Alex is making a coffee. NCRA, just so because I'm actually
yeah,
curious too. Great trade, not gonna lie, it was a very
sure.
very good trade.
Thank,
But you started in
thank you.
before it failed. What was your thought
Yeah,
process? Why is it a low hanging fruit? When were you gonna stop out? And just to walk
sure.
me through the trade a little bit.
Sure. So, I consider it a low hanging fruit basically because it failed so aggressively pre market. I mean, this thing was, gapped up, ran pretty hard and then just failed and went red. It was trading at like $1.60. Now, in the past, when a stock is red and they put out another PR, if that thing can't get going, the odds are it's gonna fail. So, on So I've recognized that I would rather scale in really slow and really small. I actually created a FOMO hot button for myself that scales in like 200 shares at a time, right? Because that doesn't matter. I could scale that for a while and never really be down any significant amount of money, for me. So I just started scaling in small, the obvious numbers, right? 250, 275, and three. And as you guys know, I focus on, my risk. So if I have a $300 risk per trade and I'm scaling in, and I'm only in 600 shares and I'm down 10 to 20 cents, that's only like 120, 150 bucks or whatever, that's okay. But I keep an eye on that as I'm scaling in. Because if I'm scaling in slow and I hit the 300, that means I was just way too early.
Right.
That's it. So we got about 3 minutes here. We should do a Alex AI Q&A again. So have you seen this Alex AI, George, or no?
Yeah, I have.
Bro, the AI is so good. So if you are a member in MIC, we now give you guys access to our exact AI. This AI has watched all of our MIC videos. It has read every single message in Slack. And Alex AI V3 is now almost not ready yet, but Alex AI V3 is going to be able to read messages in real time. So it's going to have real time messaging capabilities pretty soon, which is going to also do some trade alerts. And then eventually, we want to see if this freaking robot could trade too. So let's do a really quick demonstration.
I want to make sure everyone could hear us, right? It
Test,
was a little
test,
choppy before.
test, test.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's ask AI. Let's do the CLRO again, right? I mean, we might as well. Last time we did this, it gave us a game plan on CLRO. Let me post the chart. See what it could do here. My computer is obviously going to lag again, but it's okay. Let's see. So, see how slow my computer is going, George?
Yeah, it's very.
It's pretty tough. Okay. Okay, so now let's go back to the AI and let's ask it. Let's see. First, it's got load, obviously. Where is it? First one. Where the hell is this? Oh, there it is. Okay. Help me make a watch list plan for this stock.
Which one did you send it?
The CLRO that we're
Yeah.
watching.
Nice.
Like my top main watch is kind of what I'm looking for.
Right.
So it usually takes about 60 seconds to answer. I know we're getting close to the open here, but okay, here we go. So big move. 12 looks like key support breakdown area. Do not chase weakness. I'd wait for a bounce first. Watch for a bounce towards 12, 1250, and 13. Use small size only. Confirmation. Good stuff.
It's pretty much what you said.
That's pretty much what I said. So let's markets open here.
Crazy.
So if you guys see something moving, call it out. Let me end this stream. So let me end the stream on YouTube, guys. So just reach out to us, Stephen RH1 at myinvestingclub.com, or go to our website. If you can't find us, I can't help you. So